How long has it been since I did a top list? Not that long. About a year ago, I made a little video called, Top 5 Worst Nick Jr. Shows. This video started the trend of me reviewing crappy kid shows, and I still do it to this day. This video would also soon become my 4th most popular video on this channel. And it also made quite a few people mad at my opinions. But nonetheless, this video was a huge step for my career as a YouTuber. However, it's been a year since that video was uploaded. So my opinions on what I think are the worst Nick Jr. shows have changed quite a bit. Some shows have been marked off the list, while other shows have a different spot. And there are a few newcomers. So today, we'll be remaking the top 5 worst Nick Jr. shows of all time. Before we begin, I need to give out this disclaimer. These are just my opinion. If you like these shows, then that's fine. Anyways, let's begin. I normally don't mind the idea of YouTubers becoming TV shows. I personally like shows like Oddballs, The Guava Juice Show, even the annoying Orange TV show on Cartoon Network. But this is just bad. If I was to describe this show in one word, it would be lazy. This show is just lazy. I know my videos can be lazy, but at least I have a good excuse for it. I'm just a YouTuber. But Nickelodeon is $1 million company, so you'd expect them to put some more effort into this show. And the director just didn't seem to care for this either. I bet they just put Ryan and his parents in this playroom and said, "Hey, just do whatever you want while I go get some McDonald's." I mean, I guess there's somewhat of a plot. The episodes normally revolve around Ryan doing these random challenges to find out what celebrity they put onto the show. There's really nothing else to say. It's simply just a lazy and boring show. Let's move on. Hey, I didn't say that every show on the original list was marked off, did I? No, but seriously, my opinion on this show has not changed a bit. It's still extremely boring. Not as boring as Spidey, but still boring. Also, in the original video, I said that Pickle's voice was extremely annoying, and I still stand by that. But ironically, he's probably the best character in the whole show, simply because he's the only character that makes me feel something. Other than Crusher. And speaking of Crusher, man, poor guy. All this guy wants is to win a frickin' race. And I know he cheats, but I don't think he does it to hurt the main characters, he just wants a trophy. And even when he's not being antagonistic, he can just never get his way. I don't think I've ever felt this bad for a preschool show villain in my entire life. But overall, this show is just bad. Not the worst thing ever, but there are much better shows out there. Jesus Christ. Watching this show, it just gives me a headache. I really don't feel like talking about this show again. So if you wanna hear my overall thoughts on it, watch the original video. Let's move on before I decide to drink bleach. I know I'm probably cheating a bit with this one, because this originally aired on Nickelodeon. But Jesus Christ, how can I not talk about this trainwreck of a show? Even when I was a kid, I just hated the art style. Normally when I judge a show or an animated movie, the animation is what I'm least worried about. But this art style is just hideous to look at. In fact, this god-awful animation is pretty much the only thing I remember about this show. The rest of it is super forgettable. Get this, the villains' names are General No Fun, Professor Boring, and Mrs. Say Wah. Oh yeah, great names. Give these people $1 million. Overall, this show is just awful. It's offensive to the eyes, and just offensive in general. There is only one Nick Jr. show that is worse than this. Or should I say, 2 shows. Yep, there are 2 shows at number 1. And if you know me, you shouldn't have a hard time guessing what they are. So let's just get on with it. Now before you start roasting me in the comments. Look, I know what I said here. Paw Patrol, sorry for being so harsh on you in the past. You are no longer the worst Nick Jr. show. Rubble and Crew is. And yeah, I was planning on putting Paw Patrol in number 2, and Rubble and Crew at number 1. But after some thinking, these shows are at the same level of awful, so both of them are the worst. Me and Paw Patrol have a really long history. It first started out as a show that I never really cared for. But my hatred for it started to develop during the late 2010s. Until it officially became my #1 least favorite Nick Jr. show. As for Rubble and Crew, well, it's just awful. It's not only the worst Nick Jr. show, but also the worst kid show I've ever seen. In fact, next month, I'll make a video called, How Paw Patrol Ruined Nick Jr. And it'll be my very first commentary video. If you wanna hear my overall thoughts on Rubble and Crew, then watch the review I made back in March. The link will be in the description. If I remember. And that, my friends, was the updated list of the worst Nick Jr. shows. Let me know your opinions in the comments. And if you have the time, make your own list. As always, see you next week.